Now that I have Altina's stats, I can properly review her banner. And today I'll be sharing some of my opinions and recommendations towards the new Mythic banner. But before talking about the returning legendaries and seasonal heroes, we have Altina, the newest Mythic hero. She comes with a base 38 attack and a speed in the 20s, making her not the fast and strong archetype of swordswoman. She's an Astra Blast Mythic hero, which carries the attack effect, making her useful for ether raids. Her attack is really amazing, but the 10 might from her weapon might not be enough to kill bulkier foes, so investing on attack skills or capitalizing heavily on Ashera's creation is what you need to kill some of the tougher foes. To compensate for her low speed, all those points are going to her defense and resistance, making her really hard to take down in one hit, unless you are a Reinhardt or Ophelia. It is also a good option to invest on skills that boost her defense and resistance for more bulkier builds that can stand a hit or two. She comes with Ragnell, which is Ike's sword, and Alondite, Black Knight sword. And since both weapons had the distant counter effect, the combo also has the same effect. She is the original owner of Ragnell and Alondite, but as the story continues, Ike gets Ragnell and Black Knight gets Alondite. But that's just not it. You also get a biphasal Brave effect, so on both enemy and player phase, you attack twice consecutively, regardless of foes or unit speed. It has a lower might than Meisterschwert, which is Reinhardt's weapon, a weapon very similar to Ragnar Wallendight, but it has distant counters to compensate. Her special, Twin Blades, is exclusive to her and has two effects once it activates. First, it boosts damage by 40% of her resistance, which is weaker than Iceberg and does half of the damage dealt by Glacies, but it also has less cooldown than the 2. If it wasn't enough, her special also disables damage reducing skills, like Brave Ike's Urvon and Deflect Melee. It does not disable specials that reduce damage, such as Buckler and Pavis, but it works wonders on killing Brave Ike, which is one of the toughest units to take down with his new Refine. Ashera's creation is also exclusive to her, but it takes the A slot instead, and has an effect similar to Iota's Shield and Dragon Skin, which is to neutralize effective against flying bonuses, such as the one granted by every single bow in the game. Not only that, she also gets the Attack Defense Soul 3 effect, so when she's not adjacent to any allies, she gets Attack Defense plus 6. The main difference is that it can also work as a bond skill, but it only activates if the units adjacent to her are only beasts or dragons. It's a really unique skill and has two conditions to activate the second effect, making it easier to get it. Also, not getting damaged by skills effective against Flier is really similar when Sothis launched and she was a dragon that wasn't affected by dragon effective skills. So she's really a flyer that only has the movement of a flyer, such as Sophis only being able to a melee infantry that deals magic damage. Vantage is the most basic skill for biphasal brave weapons and works wonders with Ragnar Alondite. It also has a great combo of presence skills for extra damage when her HP meets the 75 HP threshold. Attack Defense Solve should help Altina tank some melee units, along with having a combined effect with her A skill Ashera's Creation, only if all adjacent allies are either beasts or dragons. If not, only the Attack Defense Solve is being activated, and not Ashera's Chosen. If your team doesn't have that many dragons or beasts, for ether raids for example, the most she's supposed to be used in, since she's an Astra hero, then it's best to invest on Altina being alone and using a skill like Rouse Attack Defense for more effectiveness and synergy when alone. Aside from her, we have two other heroes sharing the 5-star pool with her. The first one is Legendary Marth, who is still one of the best dragon killers in the game due to his weapon synergizing with his B skill, making dragon foes not be able to counter attack at all or straight up being one shot. Exalted Falchion also grants him bonus doubler, and when paired up with some attack and speed buffs, he can become dangerous for even the toughest of blue units or fastest of swordswomen. His special also grants him and his team 4+4 to all stats, which combos with his weapon for a total of +8 to all of Legendary Marth's stats. His C skill, Infantry Flash, is also great, but a bit too expensive considering you can get a similar one from Braid, who's in the 4-star pool with Infantry Rush available at 5-star. His defenses are also really good, making a build around his defense work. Overall, he's one of the best units for killing dragons and can be used in various other modes, even in ether raids. His only problem is res, which makes him really weak and frail to blue mages. The final red unit is Sophis, a dragon who's not effective by dragon effective skill, so there's no falchion that'll kill her. Her skills complement her base speed of 39 to a whopping 45, and with a speed boon, or just more investment, she can go up to the 60s. For her, the more speed the better, since her special boosts damage by 30% of her speed, while also recovering some of her HP. Because of this, she is able to sustain herself on the long run, and even solo some teams, with distant counter amped onto her weapon and a self-healing special with 2 cooldown, along with an attack capable of killing many red and green units on 2 attacks. Wrath and Time's Pulse can essentially reduce her cooldown to 0, making it a fast and damaging special. Overall, she has some of the best skills in the game, along with a stat line that makes her an amazing unit for PvE and PvP content, while also being, in my opinion, the best fodderable unit in the game. Attack Defense Solo is really limited and exclusive. Wrath is now easier to get with Ostrom, but it's still expensive. And Time's Pulse is straight up exclusive to her, but you can inherit it. So, I mean, Fodder is a great option, but she still works wonders as a unit. I am going full on red this banner since the color looks like the best one to pull on. And I did have a really good luck getting all red units, as you can see from the next video I'm going to post, which is my summoning session on the banner. Now going from the best color to the worst one, we have our green units. Starting with the worst one of them all, Legendary Lyn. The problem with her is that her stat line doesn't have a focus, such as Legendary Lucina's or Legendary Om's focus on speed and attack. Instead, she gets mediocre stats for every single stat, along with hard to activate skills. For starters, her bow is the only remotely functional part about her, aside from the plus 3 res you get from equipping the bow. It grants attack speed plus 5 to more units within 2 spaces than foes, make her better with teammates. She also has a support focus, as seen from her support skill and C skill, both aiming for support. Laws of Sakai could have been a great skill, but it only required you to be within 2 spaces of at least 2 allies, which works perfectly with her weapon, and also bond skills. But instead, it only activates on the enemy phase, which also makes Desperation, a purely player phase skill, worthless. Overall, Lyn's stats and kit are a mess for competitive modes and also for PvE modes. As for Summer Levitain, she has a defense and rest focused stat line, but she's a ranged unit and a flyer, which makes her very, very vulnerable from melee and bow attacks. Her build is all around her attack, so it tries to one-shot units most of the time, especially with her speed as low as 16, which also makes follow-ups practically impossible. She can be put to good use, but her color and movement type won't help that much on ether rates. On Arena, she might have some use, but still, she has such a nice fodder, and there are also better units to use for PvP modes. The last green unit is the best one. Best green unit. It's Yarn. He has a speed focused build, since his weapon goes around Gale Force, a skill that often triggers when follow-ups occur, which usually happens when your speed is higher than your foes. Yeah. His weapon is effective against cavalry units, and also grants cooldown -2 if his HP is under 75%, making synergize wonders with his high speed and 5-turn cooldown charge. So if you initiate attack, you attack twice and foe counter attacks, your cooldown is reduced by 3, so it goes from 5 to 2. And if his weapon grants him cooldown -2, it's granted Gale Force after every round of combat. And since he's a cavalry unit, he also can use Gale Force to run away from foes. He's an amazing offensive unit, but he's not the best one for tanking hits with a low res and average defense. And he works as a great sweeper when using his base kit, or he can also use as a hit and run unit. Now for colorless, we have Summer Gunthra, a very mediocre unit overall, with great support fodder and a build focused on her ether rate skills. Since Gunthra is so frail for both defense and resistance, the disarm trap won't be fully utilized, making it great for fodder or even changing for something else for her. If you want to see my opinion on Disarm Trap, you can check out my latest video for the banner review for Guardians of Peace, in which I talk more about Disarm Trap for Laram. Her speed and attack are great for dagger units, but she still falls flat due to being an AR unit that does not work on the mode she was designed to be used on. As for Bride of Fjorm, she's an amazing unit, which I haven't seen that much in AR and Arena, but when I do, she's sure to ruin my runs. Her weapon works as a panic ploy 2 that, instead of inflicting panic, inflicts isolation, which prevents you from using or receiving support skills like rally or dance. It also grants her raffle staff effect. She was made to counter the Dancer Cancer in AR, and does wonders at that. Her defenses aren't the greatest, but she's supposed to only fully utilize her HP. The flying movement type also helps her positioning and setting up the Jailer Brew effect, while also having ground orders to help her allies get around. Duma, he always starts the match by dealing 7 damage to every unit on foe's team, due to his C skill, which is just enough not to proc Desperation or Brazen for the enemy, and also to activate his Breath effect, which stops foes from from making follow-ups, and also grants him attack rest +6. He also gets more bulk from his A skill and Bolt Fighter, Bolt Fighter does not grant him more bulk. Bolt Fighter helps him get the doubles he's not getting from his speed. He also has an amazing attack stat, coming from a high base and 19 Might Breath. Duma is amazing on AR, and I'm sure you noticed by now due to the influx of Duma on defense maps ever since January when he launched. The final color is blue. I really wanted to pull on for blues, but I mean Altina has 2 swords and that convinced me. But I also got Legendary Julia from the banner, so I guess I got lucky. First off, Legendary Tiki, which I already talked a lot in previous banner reviews like this, so you can check out the other ones if you want to see a full version. Simplified version is this: 180 BST, great stat spread, bow phase coverage from weapon and A skill, amazing base kit, more bulk for you and your allies from her C skill, high speed. These are the attributes that make her truly one of the best units in the game, only suffering from her armor movement. Legendary Julia has a build focus on her attack and resistance, from her weapon A and C skills, which all shape her up to become a threat on player phase, once she initiates and activates Mirror Impact, which also stops you from making follow-up on her low speed. She also has Light and Dark, a skill that inflicts -2 to all of full stats, neutralizes bonuses, and Breath effect, which is to inflict damage if foe's range equals 2, deal damage. Damage is reduced by lower foe's defense or resistance, which makes her as much of a dragon killer as Legendary Marth. She also has the dual effect, which lets you use 2 units on 1, along with a BST boost that really helps when trying to get high scores in Arena, even at low merges. She also shares her voice actor with Sothis, which I already talked about. Last unit is Fjorm, the first legendary hero. She has lost some of her appeal because of how old she is, getting stumped by newer units, but she still works amazingly as a great tank, and is a great unit to counter ranged foes because of the damage reduction from Ice Mirror and Shield Pulse, along with being able to counter with her distant counter weapon, Lepter, and the damage boost from her special, which make her a force to be reckoned with against ranged foes. In terms of fodder, she is not the best for this, making it a better choice just to merge her under good IVs. This has been my opinion on the newest Mythic hero and the characters that come with her. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please leave a like and a comment with your own opinions and why you think Legendary Lyn is great. And may you get good luck pulling the units you want. Thanks for watching.